Old Big East fans, be nostalgic this afternoon. It's the Russell Athletic Bowl in Orlando with Miami taking on West Virginia. The two teams haven't met since 2003. The Canes, as you would expect, hold a commanding series advantage at 16-3, but that's ancient history. In this world, it's the Big 12 versus the ACC, and Miami coming through at 8-4, 5-3 in the conference under Mark Richt in his first season, coming over from Athens, Georgia. West Virginia won 10 in the Big 12 and competed for the title. They just didn't do well. Oklahoma State having its way with West Virginia. They lost those games badly, 56-28 and 37-20. If you look at the Mountaineers' schedule, impressive at 10-2, but if you look a little bit deeper, where are the big wins? The best win would be over Kansas State, an 8-4 club, and the Mountaineers won it 17-16 at home. They beat a TCU team that we believed to be much better at the time, a top 25 team in September, October, 34-10, but TCU has fallen off at 6-6. So West Virginia's wins, not very impressive. They beat who they were supposed to beat, Mizzou and BYU in the non-conference. For Miami, pretty much the same. They had an opportunity against Florida State early in the year, played extremely well against the Noles, but as has happened the last 7 to 8 years, they get blown out about every 3 to 4 years, and then those other games, Miami coughs up a late lead, as they did against FSU this year. So this is what you need to know. Miami needs to protect Brad Kaya. He's one of the best quarterbacks in the nation. This is most likely his final game in Miami. He's been a 3-year starter. He's a junior. He's probably leaving. His NFL draft stock is extremely high. Despite having some issues, the offensive line for Miami is the total key to this game. They have been the key to the season, and they have been much maligned, and rightfully so, in recent years. So Miami came out the first 3 games of the year and they ran the football, and many of us were thinking, okay, we need to see this against better opponents. Is this Mark Richt taking control and a new offensive line coach? Please check out our videos with Cam Underwood of State of the U. He really breaks down the Miami personnel, and we just knocked out a video with him last week previewing this game. I'm taking it from a bit of a neutral standpoint, of course, Miami and West Virginia, but the offensive line for Miami has been an issue, keeping Kaya upright and also establishing the run game. So in the first 3 games against the likes of inferior foes, Appalachian State being the best, Miami ran it down their throats, set up the play action. That's Mark Richt kind of offense. But then they faced better defenses in Florida State, Georgia Tech, and the like. They went into a losing skid, and they couldn't run the ball with Joseph Yearby and Mark Walton. They did a little bit better against mid-level ACC opponents late in the season, most notably Virginia. I don't know how much stock we can put in that game, rushing for 222 yards against the likes of North Carolina State, Duke, and others down the stretch. Pitt, also, Miami generally gained about 120 to 150 yards rushing per game. So it's going to be difficult against West Virginia, but Miami might be more physical. West Virginia, the type team that we would expect on a defense. Quick in space, quick off the edge, but they can be manhandled in the trenches. Miami defensively, despite starting 5 to 6 true freshmen at times, extremely impressive in its first season under Manny Diaz, and rising from 70th in the nation in total defense to 27th against a pretty good schedule there in the ACC. Miami, with Florida State included, and the non-conference against Notre Dame. Bad team, but good offense. So the defense is much improved. We talked about the linebackers with Michael Pinckney. Shaq Quarterman has been a real gamer and a kid who's established himself already as a leader on defense. Jamal Carter on the back end, along with Corn Elder, hold things up for a Miami defense that's going to have to face, of course, one of the more prolific offenses in college football. 12th in the nation in total offense, 500-plus yards per game. Skyler Howard, 26 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. But West Virginia, actually, we think of Dana Hogerson's teams being spread it out, throw it all over the field, find the mismatches with the likes of Tavon Austin in the past. But they love to run the football. They have a 1,000-yard rusher. They have multiple backs who run for big yardage. So West Virginia will try to run the football, and so Miami's going to be challenged. I think it's up to the offensive line for the Canes. They have a distinct advantage in the kicking game. Michael Badgley, one of the best in the business, at 20 for 25. West Virginia hitting just 15 of 22 on field goals. The punting game not good for the Mountaineers as well. I had a statistic here that I thought was crazy. The Mountaineers actually returning punts, and I don't have it here, at less than 2 yards per pop. Punt returns. Can you believe that? 21 punt returns for 39 yards for their main punt returner. So Miami's got the special teams. They got the kicker. They're going to win it late. West Virginia take the 3 points. So, I mean, this is going to be razor tight. Canes win the game. Those are my thoughts. Need to hear from you now on Mark Rogers TV.